بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Really important, Islam's concept of the hereafter, going to paradise, is that there are two criteria that we need to fulfill. One criteria is that we should have the right belief. We need to believe in the absolute oneness of God. And the second criteria, that we need to follow the guidance that God has given to us. If a person fulfills that criteria, taking God as God and Jesus to be as a human, as a mighty prophet, and many prophets came before him, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, came after him. So salvation in Islam is not dependent upon somebody getting crucified. It depends upon the deeds that we have done and the belief that we have. That's when God's mercy comes into play.
I thought I knew a lot about Islam, but I learned so much more, and I had time to talk with people and clarify some misconceptions that I had about who are the Muslims and who live in our neighborhoods. So I would heartily recommend that if there's an open mosque day again, that people try to make time to come and enjoy.
My name is Elizabeth Dudas. I live in Antioch, and this was a wonderful day. I'm so glad we came because it says to me how much we have in common and how we're all God's family, all God's children, and that most of our problems are human, not religious. And I just hope we can all come together and worship together the one true God. Thank you for having us. This is wonderful. Thank you. Yes, I do. My henna, yes, look at that. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Terry Beecher.
Terry, welcome to the Islamic Center.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. This is it was amazing. I learned a lot. It is my first time in a mosque. It has not been my first time, comparing religions, but the speaker was so, the message is love, right? And I think that if everybody could hear that, and dispel a lot of the myths, it really does dispel the myths and the preconceptions that people have. I felt very welcome. I felt very a part of everything. So it was a very inclusive event. I really can't thank you enough for putting this on.
Oh, I definitely will. I will be coming back to learn a little bit more about Islam and have some really good conversations.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Hi, my name is Christina Calloway. Thank you for having me. Yes, I was invited here, and it has been a beautiful and lovely experience. You all have been very welcoming. The food was absolutely phenomenal, as you promised, and also just the lecture as well, and letting the community know that your desire is also to exist as one, refuting any of the despondent ideas that are out there, and actually inviting the community in is one of the things that we need to see more in all of our communities. So thank you for doing that.
It was great. Everybody was wonderful, friendly. I learned a lot, and it was a great experience. It was very good. It was very informative, answered all my questions, and again, I learned a lot.
It was a fantastic experience. We literally have Muslim neighbors living next door to us, and we really enjoyed the relationship with them since they moved in, and so they invited us to come, and we accepted the offer. So I'd actually driven by here many times and thought about popping in, thought about just kind of asking some questions and learning a little bit about it, and I'd never really gotten the courage to do so. So this event was a cool opportunity to do that. It was very good. It was very good. Yeah. The presentation definitely told me some things that I had not heard before, and some things that I had, but it was good to have some of the more challenging questions answered directly, right?
I'm Jennifer Ray, and I was very grateful to be a part of today's Meet Your Muslim Neighbors at the Islamic Center of Tennessee. I learned a lot during the presentation, and and honestly, through meeting the folks here, the overwhelming message I received both from talking to people and from the presentation was one of peace and community. And that's what we really need to better understand our friends and neighbors in the cities, in the state, in the entire country, and even the world. We can all understand each other a lot better and build better communities.
It was very insightful. I learned a lot. And I got some henna, and it looks really good. But yeah, and the food was really good.
My experience was good. I actually learned a lot about Islam and about the culture and the Muslim. Yes, the presentation was great, and I learned a lot. Yes.
I visited the mosque in Casablanca, Morocco. It was the second largest mosque on the planet. It was a very great cathedral with very ornately, it's got just beautiful. The whole thing was so beautiful. Some of the wood inside was very intricate, and it was just a beautiful place. The doors on it were massive, and it was a great place.
How do you see the program, this one?
Well, I think it's very important to communicate. I think that communication is a universal solvent. And as a Scientologist, I mean, we believe very much in communication. We also believe in unity of all religious beliefs, because the only conflict we have comes from outside. It doesn't come from my heart, and it doesn't come from your heart. It comes from a third person who wants us to be divided. And so I think the more that you communicate, or the more that we as different religions communicate, is what brings us together, because we find that we actually have way more in common than we have different. And also those little olive wrapped things they have for food are awesome.
What about the meat?